Look down at your arm. Right now they're on you. In fact, they're everywhere. On your skin, in your mouth, on your teeth, just crawling, breathing and farting all over the place. Relax. I'm just talking of bacteria. I know you're thinking, bacteria must be a bad thing. Not really. You have more good bacteria than bad bacteria in your body. Our bodies are home to over 100 trillion good bacteria, over 1,000 species, and between 7,000 to 9,000 strains. Not only are these bacteria good for us, but they're practically essential to our survival. This symbiotic relationship is called mutualism. Think of a rhino with a little bird on its back. The oxpecker. That bird eats ticks off the rhino. The bird gets fed, the rhino gets cleaned, everybody wins. The type of good bacteria I want to talk about lives primarily in your gut. You heard the term probiotic? It's become a mega industry worth hundreds of billions. People sell supplements and foods that are probiotic rich. But do we really know what probiotic means? Probiotics are live microorganisms, bacteria, and sometimes yeast that give some positive health benefit to the person taking them. To understand how probiotics work, we need to understand how the gut works. The job of the gut, the small and large intestine, is to extract energy from foods and absorb nutrients like vitamins and minerals and get rid of the waste. When you take probiotics, most of them end up at the end of your intestinal system, the colon. Inside your gut is something called the microbiome, an ecosystem containing bacteria and fungi that are essential to your survival. Your digestive system can't extract all the necessary nutrients from all the foods you eat. That's where good bacteria step in. Good bacteria help you get nutrients from food, improve your immune function, and support the integrity of your intestinal wall. I just wanted to say, thanks partner. Our knowledge and research on the microbiome is fairly new, with most studies popping up in the last 20 years. Recent research shows the gut microbiome is incredibly important to our health, but we don't totally understand it yet. We've seen relationships between microbiome irregularities and diseases like diabetes, obesity, heart disease, and mental conditions like depression and anxiety. But it's a cause and effect dilemma. The chicken or the egg? We're not sure what came first, the microbiome imbalance or the illness. The gut-mind connection is what truly gets me excited. Imagine this, the bacteria in your gut could be controlling your emotions. Preliminary research shows gut bacteria may influence depressive symptoms, anxiety, moods, and even your appetite. After hearing about links to serious diseases and the gut-mind connection, you probably want to keep your microbiome healthy and diverse. So how do we do that? First, focus on your diet. Surprise, surprise. Eat fiber-rich foods like vegetables, whole grains, and legumes. These are prebiotics. They serve as food for probiotics. Next, consume probiotic-rich foods like yogurt, sauerkraut, and kimchi. These naturally contain good bacteria. I know some people resort to taking probiotic supplements, but I'll touch on that shortly. Now, there are ways you can hurt your microbiome. First, a diet rich in refined carbohydrates, white breads, white pasta, white rice, sugars, even artificial sweeteners. Next up, bad sleep. If you don't get enough quality sleep, it hurts your microbiome because the bacteria in your gut also have a circadian rhythm. Here's the thing, bacteria in your gut can actually control your emotions, your mood, and even your appetite. That's the power of the gut-mind connection. Preliminary research shows that these tiny organisms might be influencing your anxiety and depression symptoms. It's a two-way street, so you probably want to keep your microbiome as healthy and diverse as possible. The good news is, you have a lot of control over it. First, focus on your diet. No surprise here. Eat vegetables, whole grains, and legumes. These are fiber-rich foods. Fiber-rich foods are known as prebiotics. They serve as food for the good bacteria in your gut. Next, consume probiotic-rich foods like yogurt, sauerkraut, and kimchi. These naturally contain the good bacteria we've been talking about. I know some people resort to taking probiotic supplements, but I'll touch on that shortly. Now, there are ways you can actually hurt your microbiome. First and foremost, a diet rich in refined carbohydrates. I'm talking about white breads, white pasta, white rice, sugars, and even artificial sweeteners. They feed the bad bacteria. Next up is bad sleep. If you don't get enough quality sleep, it hurts your microbiome. Guess what? The bacteria in your gut also have a circadian rhythm. They like for you to get quality sleep. Next is antibiotics. When you use them inappropriately or overuse them, you kill off that good bacteria. This can create an overgrowth of harmful bacteria. It's like a battlefield in there. Last but not least, stress. Yep, chronic stress disrupts your microbiome. Folks who are more stressed have higher amounts of bad bacteria and lower amounts of good bacteria. So stop getting worked up over small things. Your gut will thank you. Now, about probiotic supplements. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and marketers make big health claims. But in reality, the picture is much more complex. There are 7,000 to 9,000 different strains of good bacteria inside your gut. Increasing the number of a specific strain can have different impacts depending on which condition you have. Probiotics are generally considered safe, but there are harms, especially if you have a weakened immune system or certain illnesses like cancer. A recent study from Israel showed that taking probiotics can actually harm your microbiome, depending on which probiotic you take. My recommendation: the average healthy person should not be taking a daily probiotic. It hasn't been proven to give enough benefit. There are specific conditions where probiotics have shown benefit. Traveler's diarrhea, antibiotic-associated diarrhea, and necrotizing enterocolitis in young children. Also, inflammatory bowel disease like ulcerative colitis. These are very specific instances where I reach for probiotics. If you're considering starting a probiotic, first have a conversation with your doctor or health professional. Don't skip proven treatments for your condition. and go for unproven ones. Make sure you pay attention to the label. Look for 3 things: the expiration date and storage instructions, the CFUs, colony-forming units, above 5 billion, and enteric-coated probiotics. Enteric-coated probiotics are less likely to be destroyed by the acid in your stomach. That's a smart choice. Your gut bacteria have their own circadian rhythm just like you do. They thrive on consistent quality sleep. When you skimp on sleep, you disrupt that rhythm, throwing your microbiome out of balance. Next up is antibiotics. These are powerful tools, but overuse or misuse can wipe out your good bacteria. This creates an overgrowth of harmful bacteria, leading to issues like antibiotic-associated diarrhea. Last but not least is stress. Chronic stress wreaks havoc on your gut microbiome. People under chronic stress have higher amounts of bad bacteria and lower amounts of good bacteria. So stop getting worked up over small things. Your gut is listening. Now let's talk about probiotic supplements. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry with big promises. Marketers make health claims, but the reality is much more complex. Remember, there are 7,000 to 9,000 different strains of good bacteria in your gut. Increasing one specific strain can have very different effects depending on your condition. Probiotics are generally safe, but there are risks, especially for those with weakened immune systems. A recent study from Israel showed that taking probiotics can actually harm your microbiome in some cases. My recommendation? The average healthy person should not take a daily probiotic. It hasn't been proven to give enough benefit to warrant the risks or the cost. However, there are specific conditions where probiotics show clear benefits. Traveler's diarrhea, for example, can be prevented with certain probiotic strains. Antibiotic-associated diarrhea is another case where probiotics can help restore balance. In young children, necrotizing enterocolitis is a serious condition where probiotics may reduce risk. And for inflammatory bowel disease, like ulcerative colitis, probiotics can help manage symptoms. Notice these are very specific instances where I'd reach for probiotics as a possible treatment. If you're considering probiotics, first talk to your doctor or health professional. Don't skip proven treatments for unproven ones. Probiotics are not a substitute. Pay attention to the label. Check the expiration date and storage instructions. Look for CFUs, colony-forming units. Aim for a number at or above 5 billion. Finally, get enteric-coated probiotics. These are less likely to be destroyed by stomach acid. The future of probiotics is exciting. Potential for unlocking health secrets is immense. I'm excited about it, and you should be too. Dive into the research and stay curious. But here's the twist. Researchers in Israel found that taking probiotics after antibiotics can actually delay your microbiome's recovery. In some people, the probiotics just pass through without taking hold, while the native bacteria struggle to bounce back. This means that for the average healthy person, taking a daily probiotic might not be the boost you think it is. In fact, my recommendation is simple. If you're generally healthy, skip the daily probiotic supplement. The evidence just isn't strong enough to justify the cost or the potential risks. But there are specific situations where probiotics have proven their worth. For example, if you're traveling to a place with different bacteria, probiotics can help prevent traveler's diarrhea. They also help when antibiotics wipe out your good bacteria, reducing the risk of antibiotic-associated diarrhea. In premature infants, specific probiotics can prevent a life-threatening condition called necrotizing enterocolitis. And for people with ulcerative colitis, certain strains may help reduce inflammation and maintain remission. Notice a pattern? These are very specific medical conditions, not everyday health maintenance. So if you're considering probiotics, first talk to your doctor about whether it's right for you. Don't skip proven treatments for an unproven supplement. That's a dangerous game. When you do buy a probiotic, read the label carefully. Check the expiration date and storage instructions. Look for the CFU count, colony-forming units, and aim for at least 5 billion. Also choose enteric-coated probiotics, which survive stomach acid and reach your intestines alive. The future of probiotics is incredibly exciting. We're just scratching the surface of what they can do. Researchers are developing probiotics tailored to your unique microbiome, targeting specific health issues. Imagine a probiotic that could boost your mood, reduce anxiety, or even help you lose weight. But right now, the best way to support your microbiome is through diet, sleep, and stress management. Eat your fiber, enjoy fermented foods, and get those zoods your bacteria will thank you. And remember, not all bacteria are bad. In fact, the good ones are your partners in health. So think of those red-billed oxpeckers on the rhino, mutualism at its finest. Your gut bacteria are your little helpers, eating what you can't and keeping you healthy. I've linked some fascinating articles in the description. Dive in and learn more. And please leave your questions and stories in the comments. I want to hear from you. As always, stay happy and healthy. And remember, your microbiome is your friend. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Now, let's talk about stress. Yep, those folks who are more stressed out and experience chronic stress for an extended period of time have a disruption in their microbiome, both with higher amounts of bad bacteria and lower amounts of good bacteria. Stop getting worked up over small things. Your gut bacteria are listening. Now, probiotic supplements are a multi-billion-dollar industry. Marketers are quick to make health claims about the benefits of taking their supplements, but in reality, the picture is so much more complex. Like I said earlier, there are 7,000 to 9,000 different strains of good bacteria inside your gut. Increasing the number of a specific strain can have different impacts depending on which condition you have. Probiotics in general are considered a safe supplement, but there are harms and they do exist, especially if you have a weakened immune system or certain illnesses like cancer. There's been a recent study out of Israel showing that taking probiotics can actually harm your microbiome depending on which probiotic you take. My recommendation when it comes to probiotic supplements is that the average healthy person should not be taking a daily probiotic. It hasn't been proven to give enough benefit to warrant the risks, especially spending money on a supplement that may not give you any benefit whatsoever. Now, the conditions where I have seen evidence to prove that there exists a benefit is in traveler's diarrhea, antibiotic-associated diarrhea, very specific conditions known as necrotizing enterocolitis in young children, and last but not least, those who have inflammatory bowel disease like ulcerative colitis. Notice that these are very specific instances where I reach for probiotics as a possible treatment option. For those of you considering starting to take a probiotic, first and foremost, please have a conversation with your doctor or health professional on whether or not you should be actually doing this. Next, I want you to not skip proven treatments for your condition and instead go for unproven treatments. Make sure you pay attention to the label. There are a few things to look out for. 1. The expiration date and storage instructions. 2nd, look at the CFUs, that's the colony forming units. Look for a number bigger than or at 5 billion. And finally, look to get enteric coated probiotics because those are less likely to get destroyed by the acid in your stomach. The future of probiotics and even probiotic supplements is very interesting. The potential for unlocking so many new health secrets is really immense. I'm excited about it. You should be excited about it. That's why I'm going to be linking some further reading down below in the description. Please dive in and check out the articles that I'm recommending. Jump into my comment section if you have any questions about anything I've said here. If you have any comments or some stories you'd like for me to share, write it down below because I'm interested in what you have to say. And as always, stay happy and healthy. Think about those red-billed oxpeckers. So when we're talking about the good bacteria inside your gut, itchy mind is a probiotic thing. So this is actually maybe you have good bacteria in your mouth. How much bigger is he than me? It's pretty crazy though. Remember, your gut is a universe of tiny allies. Nurture them with fiber, sleep, and less stress. And let those oxpeckers remind you we all win when we work together. For most healthy people, a daily probiotic supplement isn't necessary. It hasn't been proven to give enough benefit to justify the cost or potential risks. But there are specific conditions where probiotics can help, like traveler's diarrhea and antibiotic-associated diarrhea. In young children, probiotics have shown benefit for necrotizing enterocolitis, a serious gut condition. And for people with inflammatory bowel disease like ulcerative colitis, probiotics may be a useful treatment option. Notice these are very specific instances. I only reach for probiotics as a possible treatment in these cases. If you're considering a probiotic, first talk to your doctor or health professional to see if it's right for you. Don't skip proven treatments for your condition and go for unproven supplements instead. Pay attention to the label, check the expiration date and storage instructions, look at the CFUs, colony forming units, and aim for a number bigger than or at 5 billion. Finally, choose enteric coated probiotics which are less likely to be destroyed by stomach acid. The future of probiotics and supplements is incredibly exciting. Potential for unlocking new health secrets is immense. I'm excited about it, and you should be too. That's why I'm linking further reading in the description below. Please dive in and check out the articles I'm recommending. They'll deepen your understanding. Jump into my comment section if you have questions about anything I've said here. Share your stories or comments below. I'm interested in what you have to say. And as always, stay happy and healthy. Think about those red-billed oxpeckers. So when we talk about good bacteria in your gut, remember it's a symbiotic relationship, mutualism at work. You might even have good bacteria in your mouth. It's all connected. How much bigger is he than me? It's pretty crazy though. Thanks for watching. I hope this helped you understand the power of your gut microbiome. Remember, your gut health is in your hands. Focus on fiber, sleep, and managing stress. When it comes to probiotics, be smart. Consult your doctor and choose wisely. Stay happy and healthy. I'll see you in the next video.